So, I would like to welcome you again for our interview now for the Trainee Operations Program. It would be great if you would start to introduce yourself. For the beginning, who are you?
My name is Timur Clemens Okuyuju. I'm 27 years old. I studied industrial engineering and management, and now I'm trainee in operations in Berlin since April 2017.
Yes, and I'm Steffen. I'm 26 years old. I studied the same. I studied industrial engineering and management in Berlin, and now I'm actually operations trainee in Dresden.
Many thanks. Coming to the next question. Why would you say you are fit to Philip Morris, a fit for the company as well as the other way around?
I think the traineeship at Philip Morris is quite challenging, and I really like to be challenged in a way and to be entrusted with own projects. Of course, you always have somehow a person to speak to if you have a problem, but it's still you're pretty much you have to work on your own projects, and you have your own responsibilities, which I like.
I would consider myself as a global-minded person. So at Philip Morris, I can work in an international company, in an international environment. And I'm always searching for new challenges, new projects. And at Philip Morris, I can find a lot of projects in different departments and a lot of challenges which I can use to grow.
Cool, many thanks. Coming to your personal story, how did everything start? So more or less, how did you find the job? And how did your personal Philip Morris story start?
During my studies, I always wanted to work in a leading international company. My mother is working for research for the tobacco, and then I started to research for tobacco companies as an employee. And I found out that Philip Morris has a lot of opportunities and a lot of perspectives, and they got also awarded as a top employer, and I would say it was a good decision to come to PMI.
Yes, and I think as we're both industrial engineers with management, it's quite important that you actually work in or gain experience in cross-functional departments or tasks, as you actually get a lot of insights in your already in university about different departments, and when you actually have the chance to see different departments and get those insights, it's quite good. So actually I searched especially for traineeships, and of course it's as like PMI is a global company and offers like quite a lot of opportunities to grow and develop. It's, I guess, the perfect fit somehow for what we studied to start at Philip Morris.
Cool, many thanks. Coming now to more or less a blunt perspective, as we really want to lift the curtain and give an insight into how it is to work for Philip Morris. What are your daily challenges? So what is really your job about, but really sometimes even the challenge?
During our studies, we gained a lot of theoretical knowledge, but there's always a difference between the theoretical side and the practice. We always have to remember that we are not working with books, but with people. So it is important to be open-minded, to show empathy, to talk with the people, and have it always in mind. Yeah.
Yes, and I really think that there is no pretty much standard day which you have, but instead you are like every day you're challenged in a different way, which is on the one hand of course challenging, but it's actually what it makes really fun, because you never know what it's going to come, and it's really fun to be challenged like this and to have your own responsibilities and to be part of it, of shaping the future somehow.
Mm-hmm. Many thanks. As you're just starting out at Philip Morris, so your story is just starting, so to say. But when I ask you, what will you never forget about Philip Morris? What are the 1-2 things that directly come into your mind?
There are actually 2 events that comes to my mind. One of them is the visit to our factory in Izmir, to Filza. I had the opportunity to go there for 5 days and to learn about their way of working, to exchange experience, to benchmark each other. On the other hand, the second experience was a trainee exchange with Munich. We hosted them in Berlin, and we get to know more about their daily business, and we showed them our factory, our operations, and I hope we can continue that cooperation, that network in the future.
And I might have to add that it's really what I think is somehow special, that it's, even though it's a global company, it was still always a person is somehow there for you. For example, the traineeship holds a mentor for you, so that you actually have a person who is trying to develop your career with yourself and giving advice. And even though you always have like your own projects and your own responsibilities, it's always somehow like a family, that someone is there for you if you really need help. And it doesn't matter which hierarchy it is, you can always go to a person and ask them, and they usually give you the information you really need.
Many thanks. There's a saying, the time is now. Why, from your perspective, you have just joined the company, why is the time now to join Philip Morris?
I think especially as a trainee from Dresden, I have to say that it's we're in a big transformation. As yes, we are currently building a new, complete new factory there, and as a trainee there, I actually can somehow shape this factory as well. As I'm currently working with the factory planning, so I can even change somehow slightly the exact plannings, so I can actually really shape something of this future. And of course, this transformation or disruption is really a big challenge, of course, but it's still a huge opportunity as we're growing really much in Dresden.
Exactly, we are undergoing a big transformation to a smoke-free future, and this unleashes a lot of projects, interesting, challenging projects, and also we are building a completely greenfield factory in Dresden, which will be opened at the beginning of 2019. And this gives us also opportunities to work in interesting and challenging projects.
Thank you. If you would need to describe your department or your more or less environment where you're working right now, and you have just the time, like elevator pitch is another phrase, just a few seconds to describe your environment, what would you more or less explain about Berlin, explain about Dresden, about your environment?
I would describe it in one sentence: one team, one factory.
I would maybe describe it in 1 or 2 words. It's somehow a family, it's hardworking, and it's fun.
So, as work is not always fun, even if it should be, we would like to give the audience the chance to hear some tops and some flops. So what is really great about working for Philip Morris for you time being here, as well as maybe a downside that you have experienced?
Yeah, regarding the tops, it is nice to have the opportunity to work in different departments on different and interesting projects in an international environment, to have the opportunity to develop on the job and with different workshops and other trainings, and to have a mentor from the management side, which we can ask for advice, where we can exchange experiences, and where we can learn more about their story and maybe get them as a role model.
Thanks.
Yes, and it's probably related to the mentoring, but I really think it's a specialty of Philip Morris that it's on the one hand a really global player, which is internationally in I think 170 countries in the world, but yet it sometimes feels that it's kind of a family. Like you always have, of course you work hard and it's focused, but you still have somehow always a person to go to when you have a problem. It doesn't matter which hierarchy the person is in, usually you always find, or the person finds time for you. And I think that's a really good, combination, like somehow, of course have the international chances and opportunities, but still feel at home and feel, like in a family. And maybe as a downside, of course, from time to time it's stressful and you might not leave your office at 6 p.m. But I don't know, I think that's that's somehow connected to all these challenges and all the fun you actually have. Of course, you sometimes stay a bit later, but it's a great opportunity, and it's not, you don't feel stressed about it. It's actually fun to stay longer in that moment.
And as a flop from my side, definitely the food in the canteen could be much better in Berlin.
Okay, thanks. Lunch break. Usually you can have good discussions during lunch break. Who would be the person with whom you would like to have a really good lunch discussion at Philip Morris?
I would like to have lunch with one of the managers, because I want to know more about their success stories, how they become managers, and I want to get inspired by that and use their experiences to fulfill my tasks in the best way I can.
Yes, well, I would say I would actually love to speak with Sebastian Vettel, who was actually there in our factory before I joined. That's sad, but I'm pretty sure the management team would be there as well when he's there. So you could somehow combine the, I don't know, nice chat with him and somehow develop and speak with the management as well.
Thank you. For today we are doing this interview together with you to show and demonstrate how it is to be already with a company. What would you say a future colleague, so an applicant, a future colleague should bring? Characteristics, engagement, motivation, fun. What should a future candidate, your future candidate, bring to the company?
I think it's really important to like challenges, to love to be challenged, as yes, restrictions change all the time, and you really don't know what's going to be or to come in the next time. So you really have to have fun doing or accepting those challenges and being good in it. You have to be somewhat creative, maybe asking if the processes how they are, if they really should be like that, or if they might or should change, as there's usually big potential for optimization. And of course the person should be a really nice person, as I might have to work with them or with her. So yeah, it would be really nice if it's a quite sympathetic person.
Definitely, and they should be motivated, goal-oriented, and they should willing to go through the transformation with the company, give their innovative, creative ideas, and it is also important to be someone who thinks out of the box, and yeah, to be a doer. They should be a doer, which are willing to take this journey with us.
Many thanks. Summarizing our interview today, for us it would be interesting, I guess for the audience too, where do you see yourself in 2 years? So what comes after the trainee program?
Hopefully I will be still working for Philip Morris, since till now I'm pretty happy with my decision. I would like to have the responsibility to lead a team, hopefully a global, international team, and to be a mentor for other upcoming trainees, to share my experiences, to explain them how my journey was.
Yes, I really like this last point. I think if it's, I think it was a great experience until now, and so I would love to be part of the new generation of trainees and to help them to develop as well. And I think it's a steady way of learning, and yeah, it's always nice to get new motivated people and to somehow make the whole trainee network grow.
Many thanks for taking the time for being with us. I think we could give a great insight into your personal view on the trainee operations program. I hope we will see you in the live chat. So many thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much.